Hi
Pushkar.
Misha, how are you?
Good. I know you're on a coffee break, so can I just quickly catch you for a conversation?
Absolutely, let's do it.
Hi, so today I'm with Pushkar Bidwai, CEO People Matters. Pushkar, it's always a treat to catch you on a coffee break. Get our coffee?
Yeah, let's get a coffee first. Thank you. Thank you, Bintu. It's always exciting to have coffee chats, and I'm looking forward to this.
Awesome. So, can I start with some of the trends that you think in 2024 that have really, been at the forefront, and some things that our community should be looking forward to in 2025?
Sure, I think 2024 has been the year of the Sherpa research for People Matters, which we launched, and enormous response, Amisha. We saw, close to 1,300 organizations participating, and we were overwhelmed with the kind of love that the community showed. I think some of the findings from that specific to change management and how the challenges in the people and workspace are still at the fundamental blocks. While you've traveled a huge space on, tech and some of the other areas, but change management, talent management areas is where the Achilles heel is. The other area is, even after doing so much of tech for so many years, there is a huge challenge in finding the right tech solutions, architecting a plan, and also ensuring that the right kind of metrics are managed when you look at HR tech. So the two fundamental blocks is, one is how are we buying tech and transformation, and the second is how are we addressing talent management.
Awesome. So just delving a little bit more into this, specifically for CXOs and CHROs, are there some things that they should prioritize or change in 2025?
What we've learned from conversations with yeah, thousands, not even hundreds of HR leaders and data from some of the research, I think in the HR capability piece, CHROs need to really look forward towards getting the culture right. I think that's the stepping stone for everything. I couldn't iterate more on that part. The second very important aspect is this whole piece of getting the right talent in place and keeping them engaged. Finding the right talent is half the battle won. How do you onboard it is even more important, like the first 90 days. So how can we get some of that in place? And I know many a times as CHROs, we would leave that for the TA teams to manage and some of the businesses to manage. But I think there is a lot of merit in the CHRO as well as the CEOs getting into those conversations as well. If you look at some of the biggest founders, the crazy ones around the world, right from Steve Jobs to Elon Musk, all spend great time in hiring. And they handpick the talent that they want to be changing their organizations. So can we do that at scale? Is the piece. And third is, I'm a big believer of getting your DEI plot right. How do you ensure that there are different opinions, there is equity, there is representation, there is inclusivity in organizations. I think those are some of the key areas that I would say that's what we've learned, and it's a constant journey, but I think that's what as People Matters we would be advocating and rooting for.
That's really interesting. And I want to touch on your second point, which is hiring. So do you think that there is, AI really influencing this hiring? And, as tech innovators or tech entrepreneurs, that is, especially today we're in Bangalore, which is like the city where tech entrepreneurship is at its peak. So do you think that they should really be looking at this as one of the areas? And what are the other areas that you think, they could really innovate in?
I feel AI is making good headways into the hiring processes. At least some of the large organizations are using it very effectively. Um, and in fact, to the extent, there was a fair bit of data science available in the recruitment segment, in the TA segment for many years. I think the interesting part is now the candidate is also using it. That equation makes it more exciting, that it's not just about the organization or the TA team having analysis of data, but every single candidate who's coming in is also using AI to sort of get in and address the process. So that
Needs some chat GPT for how I can, what I need to be ready with for the process.
Absolutely. And the candidates are putting out perfect applications. They have the right framing of things. So I think some of these things are very important to be looked at. From when you say AI, it's not just AI for anything, but how do you really use Gen AI for building intelligence that surpasses all of this? I think that's where the real fun is. And for that, you need deep work. It's not something that you can just go off the shelf, pick it up, and drive it. And yeah, I feel equally business needs to be involved as part of that decision. If tech founders we are talking about, and every single tech founder has to be involved as part of that journey.
Pushkar, you spoke about AI and innovation, and I think these are the buzzwords these days. So from AI, I want to touch upon the People Matters products that you've launched and gotten into the AI space, and that's the really exciting the thing that the community is currently really excited about. We're really looking forward to know a lot more about it from you. So Octopus, the AI platform of People Matters, I'd love to know the story behind it. A little bit about what got you into this. Is there, some kind of research that led you to this? And I mean, we'd love to know what's ahead and how Octopus can, really globally make an impact.
For sure. No, I think you've touched a point that we are very, very excited about in People Matters. And you about a year back, when this whole Gen AI piece was exploding and everyone was talking about it, we had two choices, Amisha, in the People Matters team. And as a team, we would always come together, figure out what's next we are building. So we said that we'll keep creating content around importance of AI and how that is changing the whole people and work landscape. The other thing is, we shouldn't just stop at that. Why can't we actually get our hands dirty and experiment with it? And we reached out to senior HR leaders, trying to understand where we might be able to solve some of those things. So we learned a great insight that there is a huge disconnect between the HR community and the HR tech vendor community, and how they are looking at products and evaluating products. We further deep dive into that, and we learned that it takes close to about 40 to 45 days for a HR person to connect with the right products that they are exploring. And first of all, exploring itself is a challenge. And then I think unbiased information. Today, I think there is a lot of clutter around us, a lot of noise. How do you cut through that and sort of look at the real solutions? Otherwise, you end up choosing one of the 3 or 4 choices that are evident in front of you. But how do you explore 15, 20, 25, 50 products in a category? So I think all of that sort of came forward. So we got a team who worked relentlessly. We mapped close to about 1,000 plus HR tech solutions in India market.
Wow.
And we said, we got to put a platform together where in a conversational manner, a HR leader can actually figure out what solutions are available, go into the depth of it, see their demo videos, figure out which are some of the minds behind building that product. So I think that entire piece came to life. And there's an interesting story on Octopus as well, why we named it Octopus. I think it's a very intelligent creature. It adapts very well. It has tentacles that, sort of spreads information real time. Octopuses are known to even build cities and castles inside the sea. So when we were thinking of platform, said, let the Octopus connect everything, keep us informed real time, and help us navigate through this complex HR tech ecosystem.
Yeah, in fact, the octopus in itself is just such an eye-catching, logo. The excitement starts from right there. So
It's in
great.
beta version right now, so we are accumulating a lot of data as more search results are coming in. The octopus is getting more intelligent. And the future is you could actually compare products. Today, you can actually look at solutions. So whatever core infrastructure you are on, what are the products that integrate with it. So some of that intelligence we have built, it will only get keep going smarter. You'll have reviews to look at. You'll have feedback sections. So I think those are some of the things that we want to build.
Really exciting. I mean, lots more to come. It's already so exciting. I think it's just going to build more and more with this product.
Yeah, it's our entry into the SaaS platform play. I haven't heard of a B2B focused media brand stepping into a SaaS ecosystem and trying to build. Of course, our version of that is more knowledge led products in the SaaS space, but this is one attempt to experiment with AI and build something for the community. So all the insights that we have from Sherpa and other researchers, how are we giving the tools to sort of decipher some of that as well? That's where Octopus comes into the play. In fact, I was going to touch upon Sherpa as well, Pushkar. And, it's the other big launch for People Matters in 2024. And in Asia Pacific, this seems to be the report that has, covered the latest HR trends and the talent trends and, what is really a priority. So I'd love to hear from you the top 3 priorities that, our community should know about, or the trends and research that you've done through this report. Sure. I think People Matters has been putting forward a lot of researches over the years, but we wanted one industry of HR landscape research that really becomes the North Star for picking up trends early on, looking at patterns, looking at where are the challenges, what are some of the areas where impact needs to happen. And by Sherpa, we've actually redefined how researchers are also sort of put out and designed and conceptualized so much on the Sherpa part. If you look at the Sherpa report, you'll not feel like it's a report, typical report. The idea is, how do you sort of keep on building towards the North Star for the industry of HR part? Some of the insights, lots of insight. We've covered over 1,300 organizations. Close to the collective business revenue of that is close to $4.4 trillion. It's a huge sample size. But I think two fundamental blocks that are coming out. One is on the talent management side of things, then other is the HR tech part of things, which is the tech and transformation part. And those are the two areas where majority of the challenges lie. One interesting piece has also been about creating good leaders. How do you create good leaders? Because unless you have great leaders in organizations, the change will be slower. So how do you fast pace that? And this is something that we found out in a couple of our other researches as well, where we looked at the employee side of the things. People genuinely want to work for good leaders, right? So how can we as organizations create an environment, create a culture where more and more leaders bloom? So I think that's one key insight that you would love to sort of bring forward. And I think as we go deeper as part of the whole Sherpa piece, I think HR capability overall in the people and workspace, how do we equip ourselves to navigate this change? There's a lot of change happening. That's equally important. And they always say that there's more darkness below the lamp. As the function that takes care of learning and capability needs for across the organizations, we many a times forget about ourselves. So how can we do that? I think that's one big invitation that we would have for the people and work community. Awesome. Yes. And can I, nudge you to tell me a little bit more about the name, because it's really interesting. And that is something so not like a report to be. Generally you have those boring names, but Sherpa is something that really catches your eye and it stays with you. So in the mountainous terrains and the Himalayas, you have these guides, this community that walks along with you, cheers you, guides you to peak the summit at Mount Everest. And in fact, the first person to step on Mount Everest, Edmund Hillary, uh, I don't think he would have been able to do that without Tenzing Norgay, who was the Sherpa with him. So every yeah, so I think the Sherpa story is much, much deeper. In fact, Sherpa is a word that's going very international. I see a lot of people using the word Sherpa as part of their LinkedIn profiles, designations across the world. Maybe after mantra and guru, this could actually become a word that the world adapts. The whole concept was that, we want to make things consumable. As People Matters, we've always challenged how people experience content, how people consume content, and we've taken this mission that we will not do boring stuff. We want to do exciting stuff for the community. We want them to get benefited through it. And every time we feel that, we've done something, how do we up the game is what the conversation is.
Awesome, Pushkar. So, there are so many new things that People Matters is doing, and some of them we just spoke about.
Yeah.
And one other thing that I really want to touch about are these new geographies that you're entering. In especially Philippines, so you just had a conference there, took TechHR Pulse Philippines. So I'd love to hear more about how you are, looking at these geographies, how you're looking at entering into these geographies, and also if there are, what's up, what's next. I would love to know and pick your brain on that.
Sure. I think TechHR itself has had such an interesting journey. When 2012-13, we were thinking of building TechHR in India. There was no ecosystem of HR tech. In fact, I still remember some of the initial conversations we had with the community. There was a bit of understanding, but no one no one believed that it can become this big.
Yeah.
And we had only heard about some of the stuff that happens in the Western markets around HR technology. So why can't we build that in India? Why can't we build that in Asia? That was the quest. So the journey started, and I'm glad that after 12 years, it's the largest initiative in Asia Pacific. But one complaint we used to always get that, you only do tech HR in Delhi and very good in Singapore. What about some of the other places? So last year onwards, we said that the pulse of tech HR needs to travel to different locations as well, and we need to localize some of that content as well. We need to get that context in. So tech HR, the pulse of tech HR traveled in Southeast Asia, in Indonesia. We traveled to Philippines. Here in India, we've traveled to Mumbai, and now we are here in Bangalore. So yeah, it's been a great expansion journey for that brand. And Southeast Asia business for People Matters has been a 7 years journey now. It takes a lot of work, a lot of hard work, a lot of understanding, immersing yourself with the community, understanding their challenges, really solving for them. That's how People Matters was formed. Esther had the vision that we want to create local content, we want to create local insights, and that's been our mission as well. So Asia, especially in today's time, I don't think can run on insights that come from North America market or Europe market. Asia Pacific is unique, and we need to have our own data points to drive our talent strategies.
And your flagship conference is TechHR, India and Singapore. We're hearing a lot of new things coming there as well. So we're hearing of a new venue in India. We've moved Singapore up to March, way ahead than when it usually happens. So give us some more insight on this. Let us know what is a new thing, and what should we look forward to at these conferences this year.
Sure. 2025, I feel, is going to be the year of breakthrough. And it's not just a year of breakthrough for People Matters, but I think overall across organizations as well. We really need to pivot to maximize what we can offer to our community. And for that, we're going to take some big bets. So we're taking some pretty big bets. And it's not just about increasing the number of people. As number of people increase, TechHR easily sees about 2.5, 3,000 people in Gurgaon coming together. When that number goes beyond 5,000 and you still get people to ideate, network, challenge each other, that's how People Matters formats have been built. You have to really rethink. And that's what the team is doing, trying to get some of the best speakers in, some of the great stories from Indian organizations, global organizations, some of the great thought leaders in the HR tech and work tech space to come in. So yeah, all is happening. A lot of it is under the wraps, but since you asked, I sort of gave you a bit of sneak peek. Expect big things on the tech HR front in India and in Singapore. I think you wanted to go early because a lot of organizations are in the planning phase during that time, and they want to get exposed to the latest tech, latest thoughts, latest ideas early on. And so I think that just helps to sort of fast track that tech and transformation journey.
Awesome. And I think you mentioned pivot. And I think this year's, theme for Tech HR is around pivoting. Yeah. So is there a reason we picked that? It's a very interesting theme. So I'd love to know why we picked it.
So actually, when we look at things, it's not that, every year we come together and say, okay, what's the theme for this year? It's actually something that we are building on. A couple of years back, it was all about rewriting the playbook. It was about creating the right master plan. Post that, we invited the community to look through fresh eyes. How do you sort of leave back the baggage and then move forward? And then I think we moved into action because I firmly believe that, some of these things can take a lot of time and context changes. I think COVID taught us that. So how do we then in a fast track world, really focus on execution and action? So last year was all about execution and action. And this year is the year of pivoting, year of breakthrough, because business models are changing. The way AI, robotics, some of these technologies are coming forward, I think a lot of stuff is going to change. Businesses are going to rethink the way they are architecting solutions, products, and that needs a very fresh perspective, not just on the business strategy side, but also on the talent strategy side. So that's why we feel that this is the year of the pivot, year of the breakthrough. Right.
Perfect. Interesting. You're really looking forward to Tech HR. Can't wait for these for both the versions, India and Singapore.
Yeah, so same here. Like, it takes years to get some of those stories in. To scout these speakers. I know how hard the team works. Some of these speakers, we worked with them for over 2 years, 3 years as well. Couple of stories that we've been able to get in Tech HR, last Tech HR, even our L&D conference in Mumbai. These speakers, we've been working for past 3 years to invite them, come, get them to a forum like this and talk talent. A lot of CEOs, we are saying, are uptaking that kind of content. They want to be involved. They're understanding that if I have to get my business strategy right, I can't do it without my talent strategy. The whole journey of People Matters, as we are moving into the 3.0 journey of for us, is also to challenge this thought process that talent strategy, enabling people, is not just HR's job. It's equally business job. So how do you get CXOs, CEOs equipped for nurturing talent, managing talent? I think that's where we'll be able to solve the real challenges. So you're going to see a lot of CXOs coming into People Matters forums and conferences to share their thoughts, and our job will be to enable that.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It's been a treat to have this conversation with you.
Pleasure.
All right. Thank you. That's it from us.